In a pivotal session of South Africa's Ad Hoc Committee, Parliament took decisive action against forensic investigator Paul O'Sullivan after he dramatically walked out of proceedings while still under oath and examination. The legal team presented a damning opinion confirming that O'Sullivan potentially committed a criminal offense under the Powers and Privileges Act by impeding Parliament's work, an offense that carries the threat of fines or imprisonment. A summons was prepared, and the Speaker of the National Assembly was briefed and ready to act should O'Sullivan refuse to comply with the committee's invitation to return. The committee also revealed a packed witness schedule featuring top-ranking police generals, the suspended Inspector General of Intelligence, and the controversial Sarah Jane Trent. With multiple political parties unanimously condemning O'Sullivan's conduct and demanding that contempt charges be pursued, this hearing marks a dramatic escalation in Parliament's battle to assert its authority. The message from the committee was clear: no witness, no matter how powerful, will be allowed to dictate terms to the People's Parliament.
Good morning again, Chairperson. Good morning to the honorable members and to my colleagues as well. Chairperson, I'm going to deal with the update on Mr. Paul O'Sullivan's matter. And my colleague, Ms. Telana Halistaki, will deliver the opinion on the matter. And of course, Advocate Norman Arens SC will take us through the witness schedule. Chairperson, you will recall that on Thursday, the 26th of February 2026, and after Mr. O'Sullivan had walked out of the committee proceedings without your permission and in violation of the rules of the National Assembly and the Powers and Privileges Act, you posed a question to committee members whether it is their wish for Mr. O'Sullivan to come back to the committee and complete his evidence. The committee resolved resoundingly that Mr. O'Sullivan must come back and conclude his evidence, and as he was still under examination when he walked out of the committee proceedings. We can confirm that on Friday, the 27th of February 2026, we addressed correspondence to Mr. O'Sullivan inviting him to appear before this committee on Thursday, 5 March 2026, as he was still under examination when he decided to abandon committee proceedings without the permission of the chairperson. Chairperson, may I also add that Mr. O'Sullivan has been put to terms in that we have informed him to indicate to you his willingness to appear before the committee by no later than today at 12 midday. We can also confirm that in the event that Mr. O'Sullivan does not comply with the committee's invitation for him to appear before it, a summons has already been prepared in order to secure his attendance or his appearance. The summons procedure is provided for in Section 56A of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, read with Section 14(2)(b) of the Powers and Privileges Act. The Powers and Privileges Act requires that a summons must be issued by the Secretary to Parliament on the instructions of the chairperson of the committee concerned, acting in accordance with a resolution of the committee and with the concurrence of the Speaker of the National Assembly. Chairperson, you will recall that on Thursday, the 27th of February 2026, you had taken the committee into confidence by sharing details of a briefing we had with the Speaker of the National Assembly, and which took place on the same day and at the Speaker's instance. All I can say is that the Speaker, as the issuing authority insofar as the summons procedure is concerned, is briefed in this regard. The Speaker indicated that she is at the service of the committee and will act as soon as she is formally briefed about what the committee has resolved in this regard. Chairperson, to this end, I can also confirm that a request for concurrence has been prepared for signature by both the chairperson of the committee and the Speaker, should Mr. O'Sullivan not comply with the committee's invitation. Chairperson, please allow me to rest. I thank you. Over to you, Ms. Halistaki.
Thank you, Mr. Tichana. Morning, Chairperson. Good morning, honorable members. I will take the committee through the legal opinion drafted by the Constitutional and Legal Services Office concerning the incident that took place on Thursday, 26 February, involving Mr. O'Sullivan, while being led by our junior counsel, Advocate Mkhize. Members, as the chairperson pointed out, you have all received the legal opinion. It was circulated to the chairperson on Friday at 8 p.m. I will therefore confine my remarks to a concise executive summary, and with your permission, chairperson, I'm confident that the members have an opportunity to have considered the opinion in full. So this will be really brief. By way of background, members, you will recall that during the examination of Mr. O'Sullivan, he became really agitated and repeatedly indicated that he needed to leave the hearing by 1 to avoid missing a flight. And despite the request from the chairperson and members to remain seated and complete his testimony, he stood up and left the proceedings. The central question, therefore, is twofold, honourable members. What are the remedies available to this committee to compel Mr. O'Sullivan to complete his examination? And secondly, does his conduct constitute an offence or a contempt of Parliament? The legal opinion that members have received analyzes the applicable regulatory framework, including the relevant rules of the National Assembly, the applicable provisions of the Constitution, and 4 pertinent sections of the Powers and Privileges Immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act, the PIPLA. Members are aware that the National Assembly Rule 183 requires any person appearing before the committee, including counsel and attorneys, to observe the directions of and conform to the procedures determined by the chairperson. Further, members are aware that Section 56A of the Constitution empowers the National Assembly or any of its committees to summons any person to appear before to give it evidence. The key issue for legal clarity is what are the provisions in the PIPLA which are applicable to the present facts. If members will indulge me, I'll briefly address the relevant sections and their applicability. So let's first go through the provisions that aren't applicable in this instance. So members, 17(1)A provides that a person who has been duly summoned in terms of Section 14 must remain in attendance until excused, failing which an offence has been committed. As Mr. Sullivan was invited and not formally summoned, this section does therefore not apply. If we move on to Section 13, Section 13, read with 12, deals with the contempt of Parliament by a member who contravenes specified provisions of the Act. As Mr. O'Sullivan is not a member of Parliament, this provision is likewise inapplicable. However, if we proceed to Section 7A of the PIPLA, 7A of the PIPLA is of particular relevance. It provides that a person may not improperly interfere with or impede the exercise or performance by Parliament, a House or committee of its authority or functions. And then if we look at Section 27, it stipulates that the contravention of Section 7 constitutes an offence, attracting liability to a fine or imprisonment. So, honourable members, on a plain and grammatical interpretation of the term impede, it denotes conduct that is obstructs or hinders the progression of Parliament's work. In leaving the proceedings prematurely, Mr. O'Sullivan's actions may reasonably be construed as interfering with or impeding the committee in the execution of its mandate. Honourable members, the committee's terms of reference require it to assess the veracity of allegations advanced by various witnesses, including that of Mr. O'Sullivan, whose evidence was material, particularly in relation to allegations of political interference in police operations. His departure before completing his examination therefore hampered the committee's ability to discharge of its functions in terms of the terms of reference. Additionally, honourable members, if you consider 17(1)C1, 1C1 of the PIPLA, it provides that a person who fails without sufficient cause to answer fully and satisfactorily any questions lawfully put to them commits an offence. Therefore, members, given that Mr. O'Sullivan left while under examination and without the permission of the chairperson, this provision may also be engaged. In conclusion, based on the analysis set out in the legal opinion before this committee, the Constitutional and Legal Service Officers is of the view that Mr. O'Sullivan has potentially committed a statutory offence in terms of Section 7A, read with 27 of the PIPLA. Furthermore, Mr. O'Sullivan has potentially committed a statutory offence in terms of 17(1)(c)(1) of the PIPLA. The committee is at liberty to invoke its summoning power, as Mr. Techana has explained, enshrined in both the Constitution and the PIPLA and the National Assembly rules, and is advised to write to Mr. O'Sullivan detailing the recourse as set out above. However, this committee on the 26th of February resolved to invite Mr. O'Sullivan to return to Parliament. That said, the committee is firmly within its rights to invoke any of the above-mentioned legal remedies should Mr. O'Sullivan not comply with the committee's invitation to return to Parliament. Thank you, honourable members.
Okay, Advocate Arendse.
Good morning, Honourable Chair, honourable members and my colleagues, and thank you, Ms. Ali and Mr. Techana for the presentation of the opinion. I have nothing to add. I concur. In relation to Mr. O'Sullivan himself, he has confirmed that he will be in attendance on Thursday. One, to conclude the questioning by Advocate Mkhize. I think she had 2 or 3 questions left. And then, of course, to deal with the matter that's just been addressed. I'm not sure which one, obviously, within your discretion, which one you deal with first. Otherwise, in relation to the, if someone can just flight the witness or the proposed witness schedule, if I could go through that, Honourable Chair, honourable members.
Advocate Arendse.
Yes, I was requesting someone to flight the proposed witness schedule for this week and next week, because I'm not able to do it from my end.
Oh, okay, I think we must. Okay, no, it's fine. Yeah. I wanted to say that, but it's a matter which I think members will raise during discussions. Let's have Mr. Paul O'Sullivan coming, like we advised him to come this week, and the committee will engage with him when he comes, whether it's a full day or it's 5 hours. Let him come. I don't think he's coming specifically for Advocate Mkhize, because committee members may have issues that they want to raise with him. So let's just say when he comes, it must be for Thursday.
Yes, Honourable Chair, did indicate it's subject to your discretion and the committee members.
Thank you so much for your efforts.
But from our side, we had those few questions left. Just in relation to the schedule, tomorrow we have Lieutenant General Moshakiri and General Sentumule. Lieutenant General Moshakiri will appear. A statement has been made available to the honourable committee members for some time now. General Sentumule, however, will not be able to appear and has formally apologized and requested permission not to appear tomorrow due to a medical incident that arose on the weekend. I think it was on Sunday, when my colleague Advocate Mkhize was in the process of conferring with her. The documents have been sent to Mr. Romano by Major General Van Rooyen, the legal person in the in the National Commissioner's office, and we have no doubt that it's a genuine case. It's an older son of hers who was hospitalized on Sunday. So we would respectfully request that she be excused from attending tomorrow. But we have indicated to Mr. Romano, and hopefully it will be condoned and accepted by the Honourable Committee, that she appears on Friday. On Friday, we had scheduled some public participation witnesses, that the public participation witnesses scheduled on this draft for the 4th of March, that's Wednesday, Mafoho and Chetty, and then perhaps the ones mentioned on Friday, Rapoto and Ramajua, that they be moved to tomorrow afternoon. Obviously, it's not easy to predict what time it will take, but we do not expect Lieutenant General Mosakile to be that long. Certainly from our side. You may recall that attendance was required because she served as the acting National Commissioner for a brief period when General Masemola was on leave, and the directive from Minister Mchunu was brought to her attention on and after 31 December of 2024. So that's Friday. So we would propose that for tomorrow we have Lieutenant General Moshakili and the public participation witnesses. We have been in touch with Mr. Romano in terms of securing the attendance of these witnesses, whatever travel arrangements have to be made. Then for Wednesday, we propose a swap that Mr. Mashuga testifies first, and if we could perhaps make a 10 o'clock start. Mr. Mashuga might be quite long because he was the prosecutor in the matter against Trent and O'Sullivan. That's the matter that was removed from the roll, and although he's no longer in the NPA, he has indicated that he wishes to testify. His statement is near ready, and in fact, I want to ask to be excused from the meeting. Advocate Mkizi will continue to represent the team so that I can finalize Mr. Mashuga's affidavit during the course of this morning. Mr. Adams will follow with your leave. His affidavit is near ready, and Advocate Mogoetsi is liaising with him. Then on Thursday, we will kick off with Mr. O'Sullivan, to be followed by Sarah Jane Trent, whose affidavit also is near ready, and Advocate Mkizi is dealing with her in that regard. If we could move to the following week. On Tuesday, we have the suspended Inspector General of Intelligence scheduled. he has, according to his counsel that I'm liaising with, he has indicated to the President and to the relevant minister that he's been required by this honourable committee to appear on the 10th. He wishes to appear. So there's still some interaction between him and the President and the relevant minister. And we'll keep you informed, Honourable Chair. And then on the next day, we have Lieutenant General Vuma, whose statement, I think, has been sent already. I think it's finalized. And then we